Okay, so welcome back, guys, to another stream. I know I have disappeared for about a week or so, but this should be fun, me coming back. I've been working a lot over the course of Fashion Week, so now I'm finally back. It should be a lot of fun discussing different fashion topics with all of you guys. So, as you guys can see from the title, today we'll be talking about, of course, Glenn Martens taking over at Maison Margiela, and we'll also be talking about the Lyst Q4 2024 index, which would be really, really interesting. So, how's everyone doing before we jump straight into it? Did Leo just call me a Cold War's greatest soldier? That's so funny. That's hilarious. Hello, Zad. How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, I did call it, but I think, to be honest, it wasn't really a hard thing to call. It's not like it was a difficult call to make, to be honest. If we're going to be really, really frank, it's not the most difficult call in the world to make. Did I miss something? When did you get the braces? I feel like I've had braces for a while now. When did I get the braces again? I feel like, yeah, I've had braces for a while at this point, like quite a few months. Yeah, nobody knew. I don't even know what that was about. I'm not even going to talk about that, but I have no idea what that was all about, honestly. Oh, damn, you didn't notice I had braces. Yeah, I've had braces for a while, to be honest. It's yeah. But anyway, guys, let's jump straight into the topics for today without wasting any more time. So, um, I guess we're gonna start with the news about Glenn Martens because I think obviously it's very interesting and that's where we should start our discussion today. So, courtesy of Only the Brave Group. It has now been announced that Glenn Martens is taking over from John Galliano as the creative director of Maison Margiela. I mean, this is not that crazy. It's something that we speculated about a week ago. I posted a video that was about whether Glenn Martens was going to Jean-Paul Gaultier or Margiela. It was really either of those two places. Of course, Margiela made all the sense in the world because OTB owns Diesel, which is a brand that Glenn Martens has been designing at for a while now, and they also own Margiela. So it only made sense that, Glenn Martens himself, he studied at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in Antwerp. So did Martin Margiela. Glenn Martens is Belgian. There's so many parallels you can draw there. His aesthetic is very much deconstruction, reconstruction, plays with materials. It's very Margiela. I even have a quote from Glenn Martens that I'll read, where he talks about how a lot of Belgian designers are influenced by Martin Margiela's work. So he said, people often mention the Belgian side. I think every designer from my generation has to have a Margiela influence because he created a new language that we grew up with and used to develop our own identity. I even think you could talk about a Margiela school in fashion today. So he even said that he's very much inspired by Margiela. So it made all the sense in the world for that to happen. I did see an article where someone was claiming that no one knew that Glenn Martens was going to Margiela, which is totally untrue. I think everyone knew actually. I think it was very obvious. Um, so yeah, it should be very interesting. Of course, John Galliano had a decade-long tenure at the brand. This is going to be a totally different direction. It'll be good to see what he does with the couture at Margiela too. That'll be really cool to see. And yeah, I'm curious to see what he does design-wise, whether he's going to bring his deconstructed denim and the experimental silhouettes that he's been playing with at Y Project and Diesel and bring that to Margiela. It was very interesting when he was designing at Y Project and Diesel at the same time because he would test ideas with Diesel and then when it came to Y Project, he would then expand those ideas that he's been testing. So I wonder if he's going to do that at Margiela, like test ideas at Diesel, and then bring the more complicated ideas to Margiela after he's finished testing it. That should be interesting to see if he does that. But let's read the quotes via OTB on their official website. It says, OTB Group and Maison Margiela are happy to announce the appointment of Glenn Martens as creative director with immediate effect and look forward to the next chapter of the house, building on its unique codes and brand values. So there's a quote from Renzo Rosso. Let's see what he says. I have worked with Glenn for years. I have witnessed his talent, and I know what he is capable of. After Martin, who gave life to the Maison and its unique artisanal line, and John, who made it the most cutting-edge couture house in the world, I'm proud to have a third couturier at its helm. Glenn, who studied at Antwerp's Royal Academy of Fine Arts like Martin, has already shown his prowess and his vision in couture, which is definitely very true. I mean, we have seen couture from Glenn Martens before. This is not his first rodeo. I mean, when he was working at Jean Paul Gaultier, he would have, been kind of involved in some sort of couture design. And we've, of course, then seen his own Jean Paul Gaultier collection, which was really good and a lot of people liked. So we know that he's very much capable of doing couture and doing good couture. We've seen it before. So nothing new there, nothing surprising. Let's see what Stefano Rosso says. Maison Margiela is at a key moment of its history and on well-defined and solid tracks. The appointment of Glenn will further build upon the heritage of the house, which we are beyond proud to have in our group. Then a quote from Glenn Martens. I feel extremely honored to join the amazing Maison Margiela, a truly unique house that has been inspiring the world for decades. And I thank Renzo for the trust he is putting in me. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Renzo already has trust in Glenn because they've been working together for a while now. So, there's nothing really surprising. All this, we have trust that we already know that. Glenn has been doing very well at Diesel. Imani says, want these designers to stop spreading themselves thin. Yeah, I think it's tough. It is tough to be honest when it comes to designers doing two houses these days. I mean, we have the likes of J.W. Anderson doing that. We have the likes of who else is doing that? I mean, Virgil Abloh is doing that off-white Louis Vuitton. There's so many designers that seem to design at multiple houses. We had Kim Jones at Dior and Fendi. It tends to be a thing. I think the modern designers are, you know, most of them design for two houses these days. I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. We have these conversations all the time when it comes to mental health and how there's a big issue with mental health in fashion. I mean, we have this discussion when it comes to McQueen. We have this discussion when it comes to Marc Jacobs, when it comes to John Galliano. I mean, these are designers that worked really, really hard and ended up, having issues because of the workload and the stress and the pressure and all that stuff. So, in the spirit of caring about designers' mental health, I think it's very important that designers actually consider if they can do all this work at once because it is a lot. It is a lot of work. Someone is saying that my microphone is a little muffled. Is my microphone muffled for everyone? Let me know. Let me know if my microphone sounds a bit strange. Let's see what you guys say. It's muffled, really? Okay, one second. Let me listen to myself and see how exactly it sounds because that's really, really odd. One second, guys. Okay, let me see if I can adjust this. One second. That's really weird. Okay, how about now, guys? Does it still sound muffled or as bad as it did? How does it sound? Let me know, let me know. Let me adjust this one second. Okay, it hopefully should sound a bit better now. I adjusted it slightly, but let's see. Okay, so it's better. Okay, great. Great, 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 great. Okay, great. Okay, perfect. I sound good now. Okay, great. Um, all right, cool. Anyway, going back to our conversation about Margiela, which I think is really interesting. Something I've heard, just a conversation around, is that Margiela is pushing to be a $1 billion brand. And of course, that's a very hard feat to reach. I know Margiela is definitely makes hundreds of millions a year. And I thought we should go and look at the website and see what they have available right now, and also see where Glenn Martin sits within this whole thing to see whether, he could actually take over and really change things that would lead to more money. Because I think when I think of Margiela, what's probably bringing in the most money, probably the fragrances, because I think Margiela fragrances are so big and they are so famous that they almost go past the brand itself. There are probably a lot of people that buy the fragrances that don't really know about the clothing or know who Glenn Martens is or know about John Galliano or Martin himself and know about these things, but they buy the fragrances. And there are many fragrance YouTubers, fragrance influencers, fragrance journalists that always talk about Margiela in terms of the fragrance line, but they don't have a clue about the clothing at all. And so it should be very interesting because I've seen Margiela have been launching a lot of new beauty and fragrance products. Of course, they have the classics, Jazz Club, Sailing Day, Lazy Sunday Morning. These are very, very classic Margiela fragrances. But then I've seen some newer ones, of course, By the Fireplace as well. That's a big, big classic. But I've seen newer ones that have been coming through. And they have candles, they have diffusers now, they have all sorts of things. And they have different limited edition ones. You can't see them on their website, but I'm very, very aware. And I remember there was a fragrance that launched not too long ago, I think during John Galliano's time, Mutiny. So it should be really interesting to see if they can push any more fragrances and if Glenn Martin, sorry, launches his own fragrance that does really well and that actually helps them get closer to that $1 billion, you know, figure. Culture says really well. I hardly ever think of the fragrances. I mainly know the fashion. Yeah, because you're seeing it from a fashion point of view. But most fragrance heads I know, they don't know anything about the clothing, but they love the fragrances because it's cool. Like the Margiela fragrances are themed on a thing, by the fireplace. It's supposed to feel like you're by the fireplace. It's very incensey, woody. It's cool. It's supposed to transport you into a certain place that the fragrance is telling you it's transporting you to. That's cool. People like the concept. Lydia says the framework and other star products are already there. He would just need to add more and a general refresh to the vision, and Margiela could be $1 billion brand in a couple of years. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. But then I also, when I think of Margiela, I don't think so. I know people in fashion that love the bags, definitely. Especially those like, I don't know what the names are, but there was a kind of like a pillow-ish bag that went crazy at one point. I don't know if people are still buying that. People definitely love that, but yeah, these kind of bags. People love this stuff, but I don't know why, like what they would have to do to make this kind of stuff more mainstream because these are the things that go, right? The bags, the fragrances, stuff that everyone can wear. The problem with ready to wear is that you have sizing issues. Some people are tall, some people are short, some people are big, some people are really skinny. It's hard for people to buy ready to wear in big numbers, right? But when it comes to the bags, it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, you know, you can just wear the bags. Everyone can wear the bag. A child can wear the bag, an adult can wear the bag, a teenager, a man, a woman. So this is where the money is. And I see a lot of fashion people, wearing a lot of Margiela bags, but I just don't really think it's crossed over into the mainstream yet. They don't have a bag that's so mainstream, the likes of a Jacquemus bag, for example, the Coperni Swipe. I think those brands that are trying to increase their revenue, they need those kind of bags. They need a hit bag. I see more Margiela wallets than anything, and of course the footwear. Yeah, for sure. I do see a lot of the wallets. I do see that. But I do think that Glenn could really design like a bag that goes. I think the trappings are there. I did not know that Margiela has this many styles of bags. Damn, that's a lot. I always feel like they need to calm down with the bag designs because it becomes too many and people don't really know what's what. I think a lot of luxury brands, the reason why people obsess over the bags is that they become like cult classics. And I think the way that you do that is by having one style that you push every season rather than having this many different styles of bags. I think it's a bit too much. The wallets are cool. I had one with a glow in the dark. 11, it was cool taking it out in the club. Look at the prices. It's very reasonable. Let's have a look. I mean, for this Grand Slam Classic baby, £1,000. I mean, considering the luxury market now, where like Chanel flat bags be costing, 10K and stuff like that. Yes, the prices are definitely fair. I don't really have any experience with the Margiela bags at all, so I can't really speak about quality, but compared to the rest of the luxury market, the prices do seem fair. But yeah, so many styles. I had no idea they actually had this much stuff. As someone said, bingo, this is exactly why they need you. Maybe one day I'll work with Margiela. I want to see what Glenn would do with the footwear for the house. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a broken record at this point that the tabbies, I feel like they were always popular in fashion. But in recent times, tabbies have become more and more and more and more and more and slowly more mainstream. And I think it's only a matter of time before they really go mainstream. But that being said, especially for women, less so for men, but for women, I can definitely see them going a lot more mainstream, especially the styles that are more wearable. The heeled styles, maybe not so much because comfort, but these kind of like low ballerina, the mule versions, I can see these really going. I still think, even though Margiela obviously makes hundreds of millions, I still see it as niche compared to the likes of the Dior's of the world and Gucci, of course. So it's very, I don't know what they'll have to do marketing wise to really push it into the mainstream. Because I think aesthetically it could go. You just need to convince more people. Um, but yeah, they have the tabbies, they have the Western boots with the tabby, they have the replica sneakers. They have everything in a tabby, like loafers, loafer mules, boots, Mary Janes, everything. Everything possible. They even have collaborations where they have the tabby split. They even have sneakers with the tabby split. Um, so I do think though there hasn't been too much innovation with the footwear. John Galliano did do some cool things though with the footwear. When it came to like some of the runway shows, you would see like themed versions of tabbies that were really cool, like stuff like this, for example. That stuff is really cool. But I just think more innovation needs to happen. A sneaker that I didn't actually like from Margiela, I don't know if they still sell it, but it did really well commercially, was that sneaker that looked like it was glued. It looked like the kind of like sneaker that was deconstructed and then someone just glued all the different parts together to put the shoe back together, but they glued it roughly. What were those shoes called again? I've totally forgotten what those shoes were called. Yeah, the Margiela Fusion. There we go. Margiela Fusion. That was something that did really well commercially, but I didn't like it personally. It's really weird. Yeah, like these shoes here. It just looks like the kind of shoe that kind of in the factory you just had some random parts, just random fabrics laying around, and then you just glued everything together with scrap fabrics and stuff like that. It was really, really strange, but people loved it, especially in menswear. And I think also it's good for them to have a shoe that's big in menswear because men in mass are not really going to wear the tabbies. I just don't see that happening. Fashion people wear the tabbies, men-wise, but I think the tabbies are more going to be, if they're trying to make it mainstream, it's really only going to be mainstream with women. So they need to, make sneakers like this that really appeal to other customers. But yeah, that to me, did they appeal to me? Probably not. But I did remember they did really well. Remember everyone would walk up to us asking, "What were those?" It's Margiela. The Fusion felt like it was riding off the bump in Balenciaga hype on the Triple S shoes. Yeah, it was kind of around that era too. It kind of was around that era too. So yeah. Uh, People are saying, do you know what's funny? People used to call them the CUM shoes. I won't, say the exact word just so I don't get demonetized. So we ain't going, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. But that's literally what people used to call them, which is insane. Which is insane. But yeah, a lot of footwear styles too, which I saw someone mention. Let's have a look at some of their other accessories too, just to have a look. I mean, the wallets are really nice. Of course, they just have the signature for stitches. Some of them have the number system stitched on. Very cool. I think accessories like this will always hit because it's just like really clean, plain, and then you get the hype beastie four stitches to notes Margiela from a distance. They've got leather belts. This is cool. A little collar. This reminds me of do you guys remember when J.W. Anderson had those collars that really used to sell well? Let me see if I can find those. Just for guys that don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so J.W. Anderson used to sell these collars, and people just used to buy them and then like use it to layer. So you'll just wear a t-shirt and then wear a coat over, and then wear this collar, and it would look like you're wearing like a funnel neck. But it looks nicer because obviously it's so tight to your neck, right? So it looks chic. But yeah, I remember when these like J.W. Anderson neckbands were all the rage. It's very interesting that Margiela has their own version of that, but it's actually like a collar itself. I feel like that would be a lot more difficult to style though. But I like how they've styled it this way. Those are platinum, no features. That is true though. Very much true. Very much true. Let's have a look at some more accessories they have. Also, the pricing, once again, Margiela definitely has an advantage when it comes to the pricing. The only thing that stands out to me, like, oh, that's expensive, is actually their footwear. I think their footwear, sometimes I look at the prices, I'm like, damn. But everything else, it seems a bit fair. Maybe the ready to wear too. Some of it might be a bit spenny. But for the most part, compared to the rest of the luxury market, I think they've done a good job sticking to these prices. I love a collar revival. Yeah, we love that. We love that. So yeah, very interesting. I'm trying to see what else do they have. They got any more bags for us? Bag styles. I mean, let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's it. But it's interesting to have a look at their product range because just looking, I think it's confusing. I think especially the bag styles. I think they should just stick to one bag style. And because what luxury brands do is they stick to a style that they are pushing. Givenchy did this. I mean, everyone does it. Bottega Veneta did this with the Andiamo. Like everyone does this. So you stick with one style. Those are the styles that your ambassadors wear. Those are the styles that you send to influencers, and then it has a higher chance of that specific style going. If you just make loads and loads of different shoes, different bags, different, it's just a bit too random, and then nothing can really go. As a customer, it's good to have variety, but from a market, so they can keep all those styles, but from a marketing standpoint, they need to actually focus on very specific styles. Because I don't think marketing wise, they've actually really market. I literally cannot remember Margiela ever really pushing one specific thing. They just kind of push the runway shows and yeah. So I think the marketing, if they're going to get to that 1 billion, I definitely think a lot of work needs to be done in the marketing department. Of course, Glenn is going to make interesting things. It's going to have really cool and interesting designs, but I think marketing wise, that's something they can do. If the Margiela team is watching this, you can steal my ideas. Wouldn't the tote bag count as a typical Margelli style? I guess so. I guess so. I remember when they were doing those like paper tote bags, which is very Margiela, right? Because Margiela and like the paper and that texture is something that he played with a lot, like Martin Margiela himself. Glenn is 100% coming in to refine the vision and narrow down a lot because it is a bit hectic, and I do think there has been a level of confusion around the brand. Yeah, for sure, for sure. A bag, maybe the one to do it, but don't see Glenn leaning towards that direction. We'll see. We'll see. Because once again, if their goal is to get to that 1 billion, there aren't too many ways they can do that outside of bags and fragrances, to be honest. It's definitely a tabby is not going to make Margiela a 1 billion dollar company, $1 billion brand. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. So yeah, really cool talking about Glenn Martens. I wish him all the success. I'm a big fan of his work. I mean, when he was at Y Project, huge fan. So I'm just very much looking forward to what he does, and I'm very sure he will do a very good job. Next, we shall be talking about the Lyst Q4 index. This is the index for Q4 2024. Of course, it's now January 2025. So, of course, they've been able to compile the data for the last quarter of last year. Now, this is always really interesting. People always ask me how exactly, when it comes to these list indexes, do they get these figures? So, we're going to talk about it quickly. So, with the list index, essentially what they do is the data is sourced from a mixture of data from sales via the list platform, social media impressions, social media mentions, activity and engagement, and then also they track other different things like list shoppers behavior, what they search for on and off the platform, what they view the most. So it's kind of a mixture of all that information that all comes together to make the list index. So it's not necessarily perfect, but it's a good indicator, and it's the best one we have in fashion right now of what products are trending and what brands are trending with a mixture of social media impressions, searches, hype, but also actual sales also mixed into that. So that's really how they come up with the list index, and that's where they get the information from. For anyone that was wondering. So let's have a read through. Let's have a read through. So the hottest brands in Q4 2024, of course, MiuMiu is at the top. No surprises there. Interesting to see Saint Laurent become second. I do think I would say the past two Saint Laurent collections have been really big. People obviously know what Saint Laurent is. People talk about Saint Laurent all the time, but I think the most recent two collections, a lot of people have been talking about Saint Laurent in a way that I didn't really see people talking about Saint Laurent. Like these, obviously this one, but it wouldn't have been factored in probably. But this is the one that just happened. And then you also have the one that I feel like people are really talking about, which is Spring Summer 25 ready to wear. This is the collection that a lot of people are talking about. Tailoring, loads of people are talking about this. So I can definitely see how Saint Laurent is up 2 points, and Prada, of course, being there, no surprises there either. You have Coach that went up by 10. I can see that too because Coach bags have been all the rage. I mean, the Brooklyn bag has gone triple platinum in these streets. Like the Brooklyn bag is insane. Like everyone has been wearing it. Everyone has been buying Coach charms and attaching Coach charms to their Coach bags and to their other bags. I've definitely seen that. So sales wise and hype wise, I can definitely see. Let's see what they've said. Coach received the Innovation Award at the 2024 CFDA Fashion Awards. They launched their Alter Ego collection, new Coachtopia styles created from best-selling Coach bags. They hosted the CFDA after party with Glorilla and UK after party for Charlie XCX Brat Tour. So they've been busy. They've been very, very busy. We also have Montclair up 5. Um, that's interesting. I mean, their Genius event, they've obviously talked about the Genius event. The Genius event is huge every year. Obviously, last year it was in Shanghai. What did they say? The global reach of 8.9 billion people. Oh, potential global reach. I was like, what? I was like, how did they come up with that figure? Wait, how could their Genius event have a potential global reach of 8.9 billion people? Where is that figure from? Guys, what's the world population? One second. What's the world population? The world population apparently in 2023 was 8 billion. So if the world population is 8 billion, yeah, I think someone writing this made a mistake. How could there be a potential global reach of 8.9 billion people? That literally makes no sense. Yeah, I don't. Some people have been guessing their figures wrong. Maybe they meant like 800 million people or something. That doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so once again, I'm still surprised that Moncler is as high as it is. I don't really understand that. Maybe they made some mistakes with the figures. The row, that makes a lot of sense. UGG, I can see that because UGG boots have been really, really big recently, and a lot of brands have been collaborating with UGGs. They've been pushing certain styles. That style that has, let me go on their website so I can show you guys actually. Um, there's a specific style, but I don't know the name of it exactly. But I've seen a lot of, and some of my favorite collaborations that UGGs have done actually has come. Um, it was actually happened last year. I'll show you guys actually. The art collaboration I really, really love. It's by a designer, Tokyo James. So Tokyo James did a collaboration with Uggs last year. I'm trying to remember what season it was, whether it was spring summer 25 or oh no, it was this one. So these shoes here, Uggs have really been pushing this style. So even when they have collaborations with designers, they like really, really push these. And I've seen a lot of people wearing these. I think there has been like a big marketing push towards these. But then collaboration wise, let me see if I can find this collaboration. So yeah, Tokyo James did like the typical like Nigerian beading techniques on Uggs. Sensational collaboration. It's also very true to the brand, the African techniques, African beading, but also bringing it into the context of Uggs. The ones that I liked the most were the black ones. Well, because all I wear is black for the most part. But you can see like they came in like different colors and different styles. Let me see if I can find the black ones. One second. Yeah, these ones. These ones, yeah, I'm a big fan. So I've definitely seen a lot of brands collaborating with Uggs, and Uggs have really been pushing certain styles. So I can see that because I saw some people in the chat were surprised, like, why is Uggs so high? That makes a lot of sense to me personally from what I've seen. Skims makes a lot of sense. Jacquemus is still a trending brand. I get that. Balenciaga, Valentino. COS is very surprising. I feel like COS, they said COS released their Fall Winter 24 Atelier collection, partnered with photographer Chris Pirani on a 24-piece capsule collection. They held a Black Friday and Cyber Monday sale. Now that's interesting to me because COS is one of those brands that, you know, everyone knows what it is. A lot of people buy it. I don't really see in recent times that COS has been more hyped or it's seen a spark in sales and everyone's talking about COS. I don't see that. So I really want to know because once again, the data is a mixture of sales and searches and impressions and stuff. That's interesting. I really don't know when COS, let me go on their website. One second. COS Atelier. Let's see this collection, the Autumn Winter 24 COS Atelier collection. I think I've seen it before. It's the same one that they've kind of had for a while. Yeah, this one. I mean, it's cool, but it's kind of what COS always does, no? I feel like every COS Atelier collection kind of looks like this. It's just slightly, better quality than normal COS, made a lot better, slightly more refined. I mean, yeah, I don't know how COS ended up there, to be honest. Like, it's cool, it's nice. It's nice stuff, but it's just, I feel like COS is a cheaper version of whatever Lemaire, Jill Sander, and the Row are doing at any point in time. I feel like that's exactly what COS Atelier is. They just look at Lemaire, Jill Sander. They have Lemaire, Jill Sander, and the Row on their mood board, and then they're just like, "What do we like?" And then they just copy it. So I don't really, yeah, I don't know how COS is necessarily trending to the point it's in the top 20 most trending brands. That would be really interesting. I actually know some people that work at Lyst, so I might actually ask them just because I'm really curious about what exactly put them, like what exact data put them in that position, just for my own understanding. Yeah, let's go back. I mean, Skims make sense because the Skims North Face collaboration was really big and they're already on this list anyway. So they've gone up by one place. They released a collaboration collection with Dolce& and Gabbana, opened their first flagship store on the Fifth Avenue in New York, collaborated with the North Face on a collection of winter essentials. So there we go. And in general, Skims is like a really big brand. A lot of people like Skims, to be honest. Of course, I was very critical of the North Face collaboration because I did think it was a bunch of bullcrap. However, I'm not surprised it's there. I see Skims selling a lot. I see a lot of people wearing Skims. It's definitely a trending brand in all respects. Don't sleep on cars, love their tailoring. Yeah, yeah, I don't think cars tailoring is bad at all. I definitely don't think it's bad. I wouldn't say the tailoring is bad. I just don't think it's original in the sense that I do think they copy those brands I mentioned, but I don't think it's like bad. I mean, it can make sense since they're the closest fast fashion brand to deliver the quiet luxury. That's true, but then because if you think of Cosatelier, there are so many brands that offer something similar that are at that same price point. But let's see, like brands like although this brand might be slightly more expensive than Cosatelier, but like I think of brands like Joseph. Think of brands like Joseph. Joseph kind of offers that quiet luxury, but it's not the raw expensive, right? It's not crazy, crazy expensive. Although some of this stuff like £1,325 for the trousers and stuff. I guess Cosatelli are slightly cheaper. And then I guess there are other brands that kind of offer that too. You have like Arket and they have their lines too. Zara has been pushing to be in the position that COS is in. Zara had that collaboration with Stefano Pilati. I'm not sure how many of you remember that collection. I thought it was really good actually. It was really interesting. Of course, it's still fast fashion, but I thought at that price point, getting those Stefano Pilati silhouettes was really cool. Um, and that was Zara have kind of been pushing for that too. So I don't think it's just if you're looking for that quite luxury aesthetic at an affordable price with interesting cuts, I don't think COS is the only place you can go for that. I think there are many other options, to be honest. Let me see if I can find the Stefano Pilati stuff on the Zara website. It's probably all sold out though. That's the only issue. Because that actually happened a while ago. Let's see, on 10 magazine, they did an article on it, so you can see all the different styles. But yeah, this stuff is really cool. Someone is saying COS has the best t-shirts. Interesting. I've never worn or bought a COS t-shirt. What about it makes it good? Is it the fabric feels nice? The weight of the fabric. Does the fabric not it lasts long, it doesn't shrink when you wash it after a year or so, the color doesn't fade. Like what about the t-shirt makes it really good? Michael lives and dies by cos white tees. Actually, that's true. I forgot about that. But Michael's just obsessed with white tees. Okay, someone is saying, Leah says I have two. Okay, what's your experience with the COS t-shirts? Are they good? Longevity for the COS t-shirts, color doesn't fade. Interesting. That's cool. But anyway, back to the list index. So they first talk about Coach climbing high. I kind of briefly explained why it makes a lot of sense to me, at least, why Coach is high up on this list and why they've jumped so high up. So it says 2024 was a year of fashion in flux and a transformation of the list index hottest brands chart reveals how online fashion shoppers are responding to shifting tides. This was MiuMiu's year. The brand claimed the number one spot 3 out of the last 4 quarters, displaced only by Loewe in Q2. Sister brand Prada also remained within the top three all year round, while Saint Laurent has been steadily climbing to the top five. Meanwhile, the rest of the table continues to shuffle as fashion fans reassess the value of luxury labels and rediscover more accessible brands and trends. This quarter sees two new entrants, some seasonal success stories, and some dramatic leaps up and down the hottest brands chart. Coach climbs 10 places to become the world's fifth hottest brand, reflecting an exceptional quarter across all of our key index metrics. A well executed strategy to connect authentically with Gen Z customers has paid off, with demand up a staggering 65% quarter on quarter and 332% year on year. That's insane, to be fair. Damn, 332% year on year increase in demand. That's insane. But that is very reasonable. Like, I can see how that could happen because Coach has definitely risen to the fore. Coach was always a brand that was big and like people used to buy, right? But last year specifically with the charms, the bag charms, and the Brooklyn bag, honestly, I've seen it everywhere. Honestly. And who was wearing like people that a lot of Gen Z people love, right? Like I think Kendall Jenner was wearing the Brooklyn bag, and like I saw Kylie Jenner, and like 1 second, let me see. Oh, even Bella Hadid. Yeah, Bella Hadid was wearing it a lot. Yeah, Bella Hadid was wearing it a lot. Yeah, she was in a lot of pictures. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me. Let's see. Someone is asking, does Lyst declare their sources? You'd have to watch it back, but I mentioned earlier on how exactly they get the data, like where the data comes from. Um, but let's see what else they said. Competitive discounts during peak sales season allowed more customers to access hot Coach bags and made Coach pieces popular holiday gifts. That's interesting. Let's see what they say about COS, because that's really what is really interesting me about this whole list. The Coach Brooklyn bag, so they even talked about the Brooklyn bag, is this quarter's hottest product with a 46% spike in searches for Q4. Oh, so it's actually the hottest product. See, that makes a lot of sense because that's when I think of Coach, I just think about the Brooklyn bag. That's the first thing that I think about. So it makes sense that it's the hottest product on their product index um, with a 46% spike in searches for Q4, while a Coach Cherry bag charm taps into the Gen Z craze for customization. Accessories for accessories are trending as shoppers look for quirky charms, pins, and scarves to express their personalities and adorn their it bags with a personal touch. Searches for bag charms on Lyst spiked 77% this quarter. UGG, another Gen Z favorite, breaks back into the hottest brands list, rocketing into 10th position. While UGG always sees seasonal success, this quarter's demand is unprecedented. UGG searches are up 358% over the last 3 months. So, yeah, let's pause there. This is exactly what I was explaining, where it seems like UGGs have had a really, really strong marketing push because them saying that they've noticed that the searches for UGGs are up 358% over the last 3 months makes sense to me because, like I said, I have seen every single brand collaborating with UGGs. So many UGGs collaborations happened last year, and some really good ones too. So it only just means more people are seeing UGGs, more people are thinking about UGGs. They had more interesting campaigns last year. So that makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of damn sense. Let's see. So UGG searches are up 358% over the last 3 months and up 12% year on year. Beyond the ongoing nostalgic appreciation for 2000s fashion, shoppers are feeling inspired by creators showcasing new ways to style the boots, pairing UGGs with baggy jeans or more elevated looks. As mini UGG outfit inspo dominated TikTok, the ubiquitous tan UGG classic ultra mini boots became the quarter's second hottest product. Oh, that's interesting. So it's the second hottest product. Let me just have a glance at these products before I continue reading. Okay, so we've got Uggs, MiuMiu fleece. Wow, a COD's cashmere sweater is in the top five. Interesting. Okay, that's cool. Let me go back. Um, Algorithms overlap in our hottest product ranking, where the data surfaces celeb endorsed statement pieces alongside more pragmatic capsule wardrobe items. Post quiet luxury, shoppers are still seeking sleek, clean design across all price points. The Row remains the quarter's ninth hottest brand, while COS H&M Group's modern minimalist line enters the hottest brands list for the first time. Demand for COS increased 16% this quarter, and its viral cashmere sweater, a dupe for the Rose style, is the fifth hottest product. So yeah, this is interesting. Someone in the chat, essentially on Twitch, alluded to this, that maybe because of quiet luxury, people are seeking out things like COS because that's what is more affordable, where they can get the Rose look. Because they even said like COS copied the Row. Um, so it's just interesting though, because I feel like you can get a cashmere sweater from loads of places. And if I wanted a cashmere sweater, I probably wouldn't get it from COS. I can get a very high quality cashmere sweater from a brand that just makes cashmere sweaters and nothing else, and it would still be kind of affordable. Probably the same price as COS Atelier, to be honest. So that's interesting that that's the product that is hot. A cashmere sweater. That is so like consumer trends are so wild to look at. But let's continue reading. Let's continue reading. The Wardrobe NYC blazer dress from a collaboration with actress and model Rosie Huntington Whiteley is this quarter's sixth hottest product. Oh, that was a big collab. That was huge, actually, from last year. For guys that don't know, this is our website, Wardrobe NYC, founded in 2017 by designer Josh Goot and stylist Christine Centenera. Wardrobe NYC is a conceptual composite of luxury essentials distilled into their purest and most desirable form. That's all a bit of dribble jabble. Really, what Wardrobe NYC is, why it started, and kind of what their selling point is, to be very honest, is they wanted to address the sustainability problem in fashion, like how much waste there is in fashion, how things are really seasonal, and then things go out of trend. So, what Wardrobe NYC really came in to try and do was they would sell like certain capsules as a whole like capsule collection that you can buy, and it's a whole wardrobe in one. So, they're almost selling you a whole wardrobe every capsule. So, they basically tell you if you buy all these things within this capsule, everything goes with everything, and you can build a cohesive wardrobe this way rather than buying like the one trendy blazer that you can't really style with anything and it goes out of style, which I think is interesting, right? And last year, something that was really trending was this collaboration that they had with Rosie Huntington Whiteley. For people that don't know who Rosie is, really famous model, really famous actress. She's also famous for who she hangs around. I won't get into that, but yeah, she's known for her style. Like a lot of people, really big on Instagram. I think she has like more than 20 million followers on Instagram. Let me actually cross-check that on Instagram. Let's see how many followers she has. Yeah, so she has 20.5 million followers. But yeah, a lot of people, this was the collaboration, the blazer from her collaboration, but a lot of people look to her for style, and especially in this whole like like quiet luxury world. A lot of people have put her on like all the inspo mood boards for it. Like when you look at Pinterest, you always see her face on a lot of the mood boards, to be honest. So it makes sense. She has that kind of influence. So it makes sense that her collaboration was really, really big and it was all the rage. So yeah, these are some of the pieces from the collaboration. Just for people that aren't aware, just kind of bringing you guys up to speed. So yeah, going back, it says, as worn by Beyonce at a Kamala Harris rally, searches increased 110% this quarter. Taylor Swift helped drive a 242% surge in searches for British designer Charlotte Simone's cult vintage inspired coats. This quarter's eighth hottest product. While in ninth position, Ann Daughter's cardigan is the it knit of the season, representing a viral TikTok moment for red crew neck cardigans this winter. I must have missed that. So I'm not really too much on TikTok like that. So let's actually have a search on TikTok and see why and daughter was trending, like the knitwear was trending. Let's have a look. And daughter. I mean, I can't find it unless people spell it the other way. And daughter like that. Nope. Nope. Cardigan maybe. Nope. Sweater maybe. Sweater. Yeah, I don't know if I'm struggling to search for it. I don't know how it could have possibly been a TikTok trend. I don't know. It should come up very easily, no? That's weird. But Andorza is a brand that is known for its knitwear, but that's strange. I don't think I caught that trend. I don't think I noticed it, to be honest. But for guys that don't know, Andorza is a knitwear brand. Let's see what they say on their website. My Irish granny was an amazing knitter. She passed that knowledge and passion on to my father. He began his career selling the Donegal tweeds and arons of his birthplace and made his life's work Irish and Scottish knitwear of the highest quality. Now I am lucky enough to work with many of the makers and mills that he did. It is a legacy of time, skill, and knowledge passed on and to be cherished, which is kind of cool. It does have like a very, the brand does have like a very homey kind of family vibe to it, to be honest. And they always have like these cool videos on their website where they show like, how their wool and their cashmere yarns are spun in Scotland and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Cool to see it trending, but I must have not caught the trend though. I really didn't catch that trend. Did anyone in the chat catch that trend that I didn't catch? If you guys are, constantly on TikTok and see things that I clearly do not see. Observing the Matrix is saying women adore her style. Yeah, you talking about Rosie? That's definitely true. That's definitely true. Prada did a red crew cardigan, very simple that I think infiltrated the subconscious a bit. Okay, I must have missed that then, because yeah, I did not see that at all. But let's continue reading. They said it was the it knit of the season, representing a viral TikTok moment for red crew neck cardigans this winter. As TikTok continues to fuel brand and product heat, how could an evolving social media landscape in the US shape how we shop for fashion this year? Well, that changed obviously because TikTok was brought back after being banned for like a day, if it even was a day. Um, will the luxury downturn continue, opening up space for more premium and contemporary brands? And how will the comings and goings of fashion's high-profile creative directors influence the Lyst index? Fashion's great shakeup looks set to continue in 2025, and we'll be tracking the data as the story unfolds. So yeah, very, very interesting. I mean, yeah, the whole TikTok thing, something that I did think that was interesting that they said was this idea of the luxury downturn continuing and therefore opening up space for more premium and contemporary brands. That's something I really hope happens because I hope that we see a lot of brands that truly care about quality and truly have quality garments come to the fore because they will have garments that are, specifically, you know, cheaper than a lot of luxury brands are made better and also not made in crazy quantities. So the sustainability aspect is there too. So yeah. Someone saying that I'm using my AirPods mic. No, I'm actually using the microphone mic. Let's see, the hottest product. So the Coach, I said Coach Brooklyn bag. Number one, you have the Uggs. Ultra mini boot number two, a MiuMiu fleece. MiuMiu, even though MiuMiu is a really big trending brand right now, their garments that trend always seem to be the most run-of-the-mill, like basic items that you could buy anywhere else. And it always shocks me. I remember in the last quarter, I think it was MiuMiu bikinis or something like that that was really selling. The Coach bag, cherry bag charm, yeah, I've seen that all over the place. A COS cashmere sweater, wardrobe NYC blazer, with Rosie Huntington, of course. Skims, X and North Face, that was big. It definitely was big, even though I thought it was a whole bunch of bull crap. Charlotte Simone coat. So this is the cardigan. Yeah, I definitely missed this. Massimo Dutti penny loafers. Massimo Dutti have been making these penny loafers forever. Like this style penny loafer is nothing new. What would spark, because they didn't really mention it in the text, what would spark the big interest for these penny loafers? Observing the Matrix is saying Prada look 27 for 2024 menswear. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. But if that's the case, though, wouldn't it be the Prada one that should be trending just based on like searches and stuff? I guess because it's not affordable, that would probably be the reason why. But yeah, odd. So you're talking about this look here. Okay. I must have missed it though, because I reviewed this collection and I don't really remember the cardigan being any sort of interesting point of discussion. And since then, I don't remember really people talking about this Prada cardigan. So I must have completely missed it, to be honest. And MiuMiu is so expensive. Oh yeah, MiuMiu is exceptionally expensive. MiuMiu is so expensive it almost doesn't make sense sometimes. I'm like, what? When I look at MiuMiu prices, yeah, I'm like, what is going on here? What exactly is going on here? Wait, that's when the red high neck cardigan re-entered the zeitgeist. Just checked. Okay. Yeah, let's look at some of the MiuMiu prices. Some of them are like, wow, well done for selling stuff at this price. Because wow, a stretch jersey t-shirt for £410. Oh my God. Oh my God. Like what? I don't get it. I get the aesthetic of MiuMiu being big. It's kind of like a cool girly style. Shout out to Lotta Volkova and how she's able to create a world around these things and build interest through the styling. But £400, I don't care who you are. I am not spending £410 for a stretch jersey t-shirt. It's just never going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I could be a billionaire. I'm still not buying it. It's just not happening. A poplin skirt for £1,300. Wow. Genuinely, let me have a look at Prada's website. Is Miu Miu more expensive than Prada? The sister brand is more expensive than the main brand. There's no way Prada sells t-shirts for £410. I need to see this 1 second. There's no way. No, I'm on a mission. Okay, Prada's website. Let's see. How much are they selling their t-shirts for? Oh my God. I am wrong. I stand correct. Oh my God. Is this is this okay? You're saying it's not a regular tee, but it's not. Just because it's not a plain tee doesn't mean it's £410. It's still an extremely basic style that I've seen loads of brands make. Like extremely basic. It's just different to a normal tee, but it's not like some crazy avant-garde design that like they had to make some unique pattern to make. But yeah, I stand corrected, guys. I'm completely wrong. They are selling cotton fleece t-shirts at Prada for £1,000. Is it because it has this like bit at the back, this knitted bit? So they're charging you through the wazoo for that. And it has in, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's crazy. I stand corrected. Oh my God. A printed jersey t-shirt for 660. Oh my gosh. They're charging you extra for the longer sleeves. I had no idea that Prada is actually this expensive. That lets you know that I'm not a Prada customer. I don't buy Prada, to be fair. But jersey t-shirt for 730. Holy moly. The same t-shirt, just because you have an embroidered triangle, it's now 890. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I had no idea that luxury brand. I already knew they were scamming, but wow. This takes it to a whole different world. This takes it to a whole different dimension. What? I need to start looking at luxury websites more to see exactly what these guys are charging these days. Because I was like, there's no way Prada is selling t-shirts for 410. And I stand corrected. So all of a sudden, the MiuMiu t-shirt looks like a bargain. Their bags, the MiuMiu bags do really well. I'm not really too mad at it being £3,000. I mean, compared to the rest of the luxury market, the t-shirts did like spin my head a bit. That caught me off guard. Silk briefs. I mean, silk is an expensive fabric, but I can't imagine that it's like, okay, let's see. Because if it was actually like proper silk, it'd actually be more expensive. And then also, if you wear silk briefs, GG, your garments are going to disintegrate very quickly. Let's see what they say the materials are. So it's 24% silk, and yeah, that's what I said, because there's no way it could have been full silk because it would be more expensive. But like 24% silk, 76% recycled polyester for £750. GG. Um, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Um, that leather belt's cool. I like the buckle of that, and I'm not too mad at that price. I don't really mind the prices of the. So, do you know something I'll never ever understand? I swear, I will never understand. I will never ever ever understand it. I will never understand buying a jacket that's off the rack, like a ready-to-wear jacket for this price, for 2,700. Because at that price, first of all, if you go to Savile Row, if you get a jacket made in Savile Row, which is like some of the most expensive places that you can buy tailoring, bespoke would cost 7K, 6K, right? But you don't have to go to Savile Row. You can go to a tailor that is Savile Row trained, but they just don't have a shop on Savile Row. And all of a sudden, that jacket becomes the same price as this MiuMiu jacket. And they're using some of the best fabrics. They're using, you can even get it in the same style. The lining is impeccable. The fabrics are impeccable. The tailoring is perfect on your body. So for me, I just can't compute spending £2,700 on an off the rack. I just stuff like that. I'm just like, what? I'm surprised that there's actually a customer for that, but there is. Is it because they want the Miu Miu here on the back? Like, what is the reason? I find stuff like that really, really shocking, actually. As a customer base. There are pieces that you can't just find anywhere and you can't just go to a bespoke tailor to get made, but stuff like blazers and stuff, I just never understand off the rack stuff like that. Especially with the row. the Row makes some blazers and it'll be like 7K. And I'm like, I could go to Savile Row and get a bespoke jacket for that exact same price. Just plan to buy it in 2 years when the wealthy girlies do a closet purge. I love this portion of the stream. You guys just want to see me get mad at luxury prices. That's what you guys want to see. Silk briefs would be terrible because you can't clean white sticky substances off them. Wow, Luke. Wow. I think they're terrible, but for a different reason. Okay, technicals, silk zipper jacket. I'm not too mad at that. Yeah, so like stuff like this, once again, like a MiuMiu reversible coat, like technical coat for 4.3K. I just don't see in what world that I'm spending that kind of money for something like this when I can get. And the thing about this coat, because if it's something that's really interesting, I would understand. This coat is not a very interesting silhouette. You could go to a bespoke tailor and get this exact same coat made for less. Like in London, made in London, fabric milled in Scotland, like highest quality. I don't, I just, it gets to a certain point with luxury where I'm genuinely like, like, I'm being so serious. If I had a net worth of 100 million, I still wouldn't buy it. So I genuinely wonder what the customer base is. Not to say that people actually buy this stuff, because I can imagine that the reason why MiuMiu makes so much money is because of the bags and the collaborations that they've done, the footwear. Those sell really well, like the New Balance collaboration they did, all those collaborations. I think that's what sells. But stuff like this, like the jackets, the blazers at that price point, I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And I'm someone that works in the fashion industry, you know, I don't understand it. Leah said, these aren't even the peak of Miu prices. There are garments they have that are upwards of 10K. Wait, Burberry literally had a synthetic 50K dress on their website. Yeah, but I just don't even understand it. I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. You used to be able to buy a decent used car for that price. Facts. Yeah. This is how rich kids dress down so they don't get mugged in the neighborhoods they are gentrifying. It's not loud that they get to know it's expensive. It's if you know culture. So my issue is not necessarily the price. I think you might think that my issue is the price. My issue is not the price. My issue is the price for it being an off-the-rack garment. I think past a certain price point, everything should just be bespoke at that point. You should just go into the atelier and they make it custom. I don't see how anything, especially like a blazer, should off the rack should be anything more than 5K. I don't care what material you're using. At that point, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Um, so that's what I don't get. So that's my main issue. It's just like, why is it off the rack at that price point? So even if you want to dress down, why not get it bespoke and it looks better? It's actually made for your body specifically. If you can afford it, if you have that kind of money. If I had Miu Miu money, I would just get everything custom made. I wouldn't be buying stuff off the rack. Why would I buy a like why would I do that? Why would I buy a bad fabric, terribly made, cut corner ass brand product that's 5K when I can get it custom made, choose the fabric myself, choose the lining myself, choose the thread myself, choose all of those details, choose the buttons. I know everything is the top level quality ever, and still it would cost less than a MiuMiu version. Why? So why would I do that? Luke, there's always been that distinction, by the way, in Savile Row. There's always been off the rack, made to measure, and bespoke. That's always been a thing on Savile Row. That isn't a new thing. That's always been a thing. Like the three price levels. Because you don't have the time to choose fabrics and do fittings. Time is money. But you don't you if you're that rich, I don't think you have to spend loads of time choosing fabrics. You could just tell the person who's making the custom thing, what fabric do you think works, or what fabric do you think is like nice or whatever. Um, and then they could pick it out for you. Use their expertise. You don't necessarily have to like be going there. And then a fitting, I mean, I I do think that on YouTube, I do see like all these like grind, wake up and grind set kind of types talking about, you know, oh, time is money, so CEOs and high net worth people don't have time to be doing all these things. But I beg to differ. Everyone has like hobbies. I'm sure rich people have leisure time too. If anything, they have more leisure time than normies like us because they have a lot of money. So there's no like financial pressure to always be working. So if anything, they actually have time to do things like the same time that they used to play tennis and paddle board. Is that the new thing that people are playing now? The same time they used to go canoeing and kayaking, the same time they used to go yachting and sailing is the same time that they can spend 30 minutes to 1 hour on a fitting once every few months. So I never really buy this idea that, they don't have time to do fittings. Like fittings don't take a whole day. Fittings, the first fitting, they come, they measure you, and then you go. And then the second fitting, they have like a toile that they use, and then they adjust it based on certain further measurements they make. And then the last fitting, they just make the last adjustments. These are not long fittings. They don't take hours and hours. Oh, is it pickleball? Yeah, that's the it's some form of like it looks kind of like a mixture of squash and tennis. But I know all the upper class girlies, ladies and gentlemen, they've been playing that sport. Yeah, I think it is pickleball. That's the trending thing. No, because I can have a meeting during paddle or cheat on my wife doing tennis. I can't do that doing a fitting at Savile Row. Stay work. Oh my gosh, that's a bit toxic. Yeah, it is paddle. There we go. I used to tailor and honey, people walk in with their pitch black shades and get fitted for a max of 20 minutes and come back next week. Yeah, exactly. I don't this whole thing that like fittings take forever and like really rich people don't have the time for that. I just don't buy that. Let's see what Observing Matrix says. But there's also a lack of hands to do the sewing. I live in New York. I'm a designer. Who knows people who can make things for me? And even so, just doing it becomes a chore. We're a lazy generation. Yeah, I guess if it's laziness, I get that. But they have the time, they can do it, and there's the option to do that. And me personally, if I could afford it, that's what I would do. I wouldn't buy stuff off the rack. Like a fitting does not take long. It will take me all of 30 minutes, and then I'll be back in a few weeks when they call me for another fitting. Um, so yeah, but also a lack of hands. I don't know. It depends on where you live. I don't live in New York, so I can't really say. People that are from New York in the chat, let me know. But in London, there are so many people that can make stuff for you, bespoke. It's actually endless. And people that have expertise, there are knitwear people that'll do it for you with connections with knitwear mills in Scotland. There are people that I mean, we have Savile Row and everything that branches out of Savile Row. There's so many tailors that are Savile Row trained that start their own tailoring establishments all over London, right? So we have that. We have the designers that go to CSM. If you're trying to, or like any other fashion school, if you're trying to make something more avant-garde or different, you can tap into those designers. There are more than enough designers. So yeah, I don't know. In somewhere like London, for example, the options are endless. There's also the ignorance aspect. They may not know this option exists. People don't know that bespoke garment making exists. I don't know. I think people would know about that, surely. Surely, I have more faith in humanity. How are you gonna spend 5K on a jacket and not know, not even be aware that there are places that you can make things bespoke? That's a bit insane. Luring me down. Anyway, guys, let's have more of a gander. I'm curious now. Let's have a look at some of these MiuMiu prices because wow, I stand corrected on the Prada thing. Jeez. Let's see the tire tech. I mean, these sneakers are basically about £800. That's how things cost these days, like footwear, luxury footwear. Hmm. Let's see what else. Let's look at some more ready to wear. View all. Let's sort by highest price. So they have these embroidered dresses that are 10K. I mean, if it's hand embroidered, I can understand it being 10K because it would probably take a very, very, very long time to make. Um, hmm, just a lot of sequins sewn in. And look, it's sold out in many sizes. People, wow, people really love this stuff. There are only actually two sizes available. Everything else is supposedly sold out on this £9,200 embroidered dress. Interesting. Wow. Okay. I stand corrected once again. I guess the market is there for these things. I just personally don't get it though. Like if I had that money, I just don't understand it. So the more expensive pieces are things where they've like I'm hoping it's been hand like these sequins and embellishments and embroidery, it's been hand applied and hand sewn. So I can understand why the price cost that much. Let's see what they say about the fabrics. I'm curious. 100% cotton. I mean, if it's a high grade cotton, and neither here nor there, I think the price is really going into what's on the jacket itself. Let's have a look. Let's have a bit of a zoom. Hmm. I wonder, yeah, it's quite literally the cheapest embroidery to produce. Yeah, because like it, especially depending on where, let's see where they say it's made. Let's see where they claim it's made. Because in India, they are known for doing that stuff. I mean, Dries Van Noten never has garments that cost that much. And he works with artisans in India that do an extremely good job. So obviously, Dries Van Noten is not the brand anymore, but I'm talking about the brand itself does that. So I don't know, like where they're saying it was made. Let's see. Gabardine fabric brands, padded bomber jacket. So it's supposed to be a vintage look. Interesting. So no actual information on where exactly this garment is made. Hmm. Interesting, Mimi. Interesting. Also, MiuMiu does private sales each year. I just went to one early Jan and the clothes are 50% off and the bags and shoes are 40% off. Okay, that's cool. The gabardine hoodie was 12K. That's the cheaper bomber. There was a Dior bomber in hands I saw once. It was 40K. Most basic embroidery I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't. That's why I need to know where it was made, who hand embroidered it. Is it even hand embroidered in the first place? These are all questions I need answered. But that's interesting. There's no information on exactly where it was made. Product details, probably the same. 60% mohair, 40% virgin wool. I mean, as someone that works in the industry, right? Wool, like the highest grade of wool, the highest grade of mohair, the highest grade of like different kinds of cotton, there's a cap on how expensive these things cost. So even if you process them in the best way possible, there's like a cap where your cost price max ready to wear could go up to maybe 1K or like 2K depending on certain there are specific fabrics that are quite rare where things can I can see how like cost price could literally be super high, like 2K, 3K. But Prada and MiuMiu don't make garments with those kind of fabrics. I have a lot of experience with MiuMiu and Prada fabrics. They don't use those. So unless it's hand embroidered in Paris, I just don't understand how they like come to this the conclusion of these prices. Because a lot of people, I think some of them may be luxury victims where they like to defend luxury brands all the time and they're like, oh, but the fabric is 100% cotton. The fabric is so good. Trust me, there's a cap. Even on the best fabrics you've ever seen in the world. Like, yeah, like South Africa, for example, makes some of the best mohair in the world. Literally, South Africa exports a lot of mohair, right? And South African mohair does not cost that much. And it's so good quality wise. So don't be a luxury victim and think that a lot of these fabrics are, justify a high cost price. They don't. They actually don't. I actually visited a garment factory in Cape Town in South Africa where there's a brand in there. Well, it's a knitwear factory, which makes a lot of sense because mohair is one of the fabrics that they have to hand. And there are many there are many brands in South Africa that specialize in knitwear for that reason. So I have a lot of experience with mohair and knitwear, especially. So when I see these brands and they charge 8K for some mohair, and people are like, oh, but it's a really high grade mohair. I'm just like, bro, don't be a luxury victim. Don't be a luxury victim. I got a Lemaire sweater made out of alpaca and it gets stinky when wet. Damn. I feel like MiuMiu charges premium on top of regular Prada tax, which is BS, but that's how they roll. The dumb rich people eat it up anyway. Jeez. This is so 2004 to 2008. Marc Jacobs, that was copying Prada. Back then it was overpriced too, and people loved that vintage girlhood charity shop knockoff for 20x the price. I can say firsthand, having felt mohair from China and South Africa, those prices are never that high from producers. That's the brand tax on the country. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I literally went to Cape Town and went to a factory that specializes in knitwear and talked to them about the cost of mohair, how much it costs when they export it, how much it costs for the exports. I won't actually say the figures because I wouldn't do that because then it could affect like their business. But I got to know how much it costs. Certain luxury brands that were buying from certain mills in South Africa, what they spend. So, like I keep saying, I'll say it again, don't be a luxury victim. Don't defend these brands when it doesn't warrant defending. Because people will look at that blend, the MiuMiu blend, and be like, oh, 60% mohair. It's high grade mohair. Mohair is not that expensive. Even the best mohair you can find. It's not like £8,000 for a jacket expensive. Let's see. Because there are, to be honest, to be frank, I don't want to say that no luxury garments warrant high prices. There are some like we can talk about this. There are some very complicated dyeing techniques that luxury brands have to develop themselves. So they might charge a high price, not because, you know, the dyes themselves cost a lot of money, but because so much time and money goes into the development of like those dyeing techniques. So when I see something like that, I'm like, okay, that I can understand why it's expensive. Or when I see something where they've done something like they're trying to experiment with fabrics or there's like a fade. So I can tell. I can normally tell when I look at a garment, like, okay, that makes sense why it's expensive. But if it's just like some plain ass cotton piece, no. Just no. Also, Tarek, thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Observing the Matrix says, I will say mohair ain't what it used to be. The mohair and baby cashmere or cashmere used to feel cannot be found anymore. A designer mohair these days feels like Zara mohair. Yeah, facts. Big ups to the 10 gifted. I feel like that's Twitch speak. We don't say that on YouTube, even though I'm streaming to Twitch right now as well. But yeah, like, shut up. Thank you for the 10 gifted. That's some like Twitch speak. Yeah, let's go through MiuMiu and have more of a headache with these prices. But yeah, I don't want to, because sometimes when I have these conversations, it might just seem like everything's a waste of money. I'm not saying that. Some of the techniques do warrant the price. Let's see. Like even okay, something like this, for example, Napa leather. I don't know the specifics on this leather. Let's see if they talk about it. But like I can see how this could warrant a price based on the way that they've treated the leather. Because there's a difference between like dyeing leather and then actually treating it to have like a faded look using like heat and using different things. I can see why that would be expensive. But let's see. What kind of leather is it? Lambskin. Okay. I mean, I'm not too mad at this price, to be fair. This is a price I'm not too mad at. So it's not everything, but certain things, it's like, yeah. I saw an influencer launch another clothing line and she was charging like $100 plus for a specific type of dye job. Hmm. Yeah, that leather is gorgeous. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's, I can just tell, like, okay, that makes sense for that price. This doesn't. This does. But the one that really kicks me is the those cotton t-shirts. Mu and especially Prada. Oh my God, like, oh my, 660 for a plain cotton, yeah, 100% cotton with a print. This is the kind of print that will fade with time. This is the kind of print where after like 20 washes, this Prada will be really faint. 660 for that is a travesty. That is actually a scam. They may not make much of the clothing and just rely more on the shoe and bag sales. I know a lot of people won't buy the clothes, but will buy a pair of sunglasses. Yeah, that's the case with every brand. However, when you think of big groups, like Prada Group, all these different groups, and I talk about this all the time, they have leverage with factories to get favorable cost prices. So I don't think any of this applies for any massive brand. But Luke says we are spending too much time on Prada and MiuMiu. Yeah, it's because I was just so surprised by the prices. I had to like recoup myself. I had to catch myself, right? Um, so shows wise, people want me to talk about Lanvin. I can't really talk about Lanvin now because I need to look at it. It's an interesting thing. I believe it was Peter Copin's Lanvin debut. I mean, I can have a first look. But I wouldn't call it a review. I'm probably still going to do a review on it, but I need to look into the garments properly, read maybe if he did interviews about it, what he said, look into some of the references that he mentions and read into those references and see if they tally up. So I need to go through my whole process when I review things, but we can have a glance at his Lanvin collection. Let's have a look, guys. Let's see. Let's mute on. I like that. I like what you did there. I see what you did there. Okay. Let's actually watch the video instead. I was gonna go and Vogue Runway, but that's a bit boring. Let's see if they have like a runway video for us. And if they don't, they're lost. Okay, they do. Yeah, let's just mute that. Okay, let's have a look. Funny thing is, I actually haven't seen this collection. Like I'm aware it happened, but so much happens during Fashion Week that it's really hard to keep up. So there's so many shows that I'm aware they happen. I mean, Couture Week, I know the Scaparelli show happened. I haven't looked at it. I know the Saint Laurent show happened. I really haven't looked at it. I know like all these shows. I know the Jacquemus show. People are talking about it. I haven't really looked at it either. So I still need to collect my thoughts. But this is cool. Like we can have a look. Also, thank you very much for the super chat culture. I really appreciate it. Luke says, Lanvin was such a disappointment. Hmm. I mean, I haven't seen it. I'm seeing it now for the first time. So let's see what I think. Is someone saying, is my audio lagging, guys? Let me know if my audio is still lagging. Hmm. High funnel neck coat. Hmm. That's strange. Why is my audio still lagging? Odd. Someone is saying my video is a few seconds behind the audio. Really strange. And the video on the screen is choppy. It's not choppy on my screen, so that's weird. Hmm. Could just be my internet working, acting up. Let me see. You test the internet speed. No, the internet speed looks fine. YouTube audio and vids have been weird today. Yeah, maybe it's that. Yeah, I checked my internet connection. I don't think it's that. I ran a quick internet speed test. I don't think it's my internet speed, to be fair. Yeah, I don't think it's my internet speed. That's odd. Strange. Yeah, I mean, YouTube as a platform, it sometimes happens because like YouTube is not a perfect science, right? Sometimes their servers have issues and then things just have issues. That's why sometimes like certain platforms are down. Literally, there are literal times when YouTube, it doesn't happen a lot, but there are times when YouTube is completely down. Like everything you try to load doesn't work. Someone saying it's China about to launch the next YouTube. I mean, the Long collection, it looks kind of cool. There's no piece that so far has really stood out to me, apart from there was a dress that I really liked. It seemed sort of crystal encrusted. It was like navy blue. That looked really nice. I also think that these are difficult shoes to fill because, I mean, taking over, people are still, when we talk about Lanvin, people are still talking about the likes of Albert Elbaz, and people really love that era. So it's really hard to kind of, take over in that sense. Oh yeah, I just had a look at the video. It is lagging. That's so odd. Let me refresh the page. Hmm. Over 800 megabytes a second. How greedy. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Are people saying it's much better now? Okay, great. Thank goodness. Because I was like, yeah, my internet is fine. So maybe from now on, that's kind of the answer to my issues, right? Oh no, now someone's saying the audio sounds muffled. How do you refresh audio, guys? So I think now I just have to refresh the page, but with the audio, I don't know what we do with that. Okay, we're gonna watch it again, guys, so you guys don't have that terrible playback viewing experience where everything is laggy. Internet is faster than my company internet. Yeah, I specifically got fast internet because I know that I stream a lot. So I had to make sure that my internet doesn't like, during a stream, everything just like pauses or freezes or whatever, or the stream just drops because my internet speed isn't fast enough. So yeah, that's why I have fast internet. But it's still not a perfect science, like I said, because we have issues every stream. It's either the audio or the video is laggy or the audio is laggy. I need to figure out how exactly certain people stream without issues, because certain people stream and like their streams have no issue. It could just be where I live. I live by the river, so the signal is always going to be kind of funny sometimes. But I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. Those like crystal encrusted capes are really nice. I like those. I did hear from someone, but obviously, like I said, I haven't looked at this collection yet. But people said that Peter Copan was inspired by Jean Lanvin from the 1920s and 1930s. But I need to actually look into that. Prada heard you dissing and sabotaged the stream. Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't look that bad to me. It's, people saying it's disappointing. I mean, what are people expecting from Lanvin? Like when I look at Lanvin, I'm expecting classic looks with a twist, whether that's in fabric, in color. Um, yeah, I'm not really expecting. Like I don't really understand what people are expecting. Even under Albert Elbaz, that's what he was doing. He was kind of like refining the house codes and the classics. That look is bad though. Okay, that was bad. Wait, let me think. This is bad. This that is bad. To be fair, what is that? Is that like a satin hoodie? That looks like a horrible fabric. That looks like it would be horrible to wear. That hoodie, whatever fabric it is, it looks like nylon. Yeah, that's a terrible look. Mm. We are expecting vibrant color usage, creative takes on wardrobe essentials, use of different materials, etc. I think Peter Copping did that though in this collection from what I've seen. Some of the looks I'm like, damn, that's really bad. But like that look I just highlighted. But for the most part, I'm seeing that though. That maybe not. Okay, the more I look at this collection, I kind of see what people are saying. Like I am seeing interesting stuff, but like looks like this, no. Looks like wait, let me pause it so you guys can see. This, mm-mm. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. If you guys have watched Get Out, no, 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 no. Someone is mentioning Willie Tavaria. He's had a really strong year. Really, really strong year. Yeah, I saw when he designed that collection for the Super Bowl. Yeah, he's been doing really well recently. Yeah, that look. I do actually quite like a lot of the looks in this collection, but some of the looks I'm like, what were they thinking? And it looks so weird in the context of the rest of the clothing. That knitwear piece. I think a lot of designers, what they try to do, and I don't think it works, by the way, but I've seen Demna does this sometimes, and I don't think it works. What they do is they try to take house codes of a brand. So what Demna does is he takes Chris Balenciaga shapes, like a cocoon shape or stuff like that, or Peter Copian will probably take like a Lanvin shape and try to change the context and have this commentary on modern day dress. So they will try to infuse the shapes into like jeans, like into everyday clothing, like jeans and knitwear and stuff like that. And I genuinely think Demna does that well with those like Parker jackets with the cocoon shape art, really nice. But then when they try to do it with certain knitwear and like denim, it just looks horrible. It just doesn't work. And I think in this collection, I get the sense that's kind of what Peter Copping is trying to do, but it just doesn't work. It really doesn't work. Right comes off random sometimes when the correlation isn't clearly made. Yeah. And I look at the rest of the dresses, right, and then put those looks in the context of the dresses on the runway. They almost look out of place. It's really, really odd. Really, really strange. But yeah, those are my first thoughts if anyone wanted them. Um, I might as well have a look at some of the other, shows that I haven't been able to catch, even though, like I said, I'm still going to review them after. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna have a look at one more show. What show should I look at? I'll let you guys vote. Should I look at Schiaparelli, Saint Laurent? Have I seen any of the? So I saw the Comme des Garçons Un Plus show, which I thought was kind of cool. I thought that was cool, but I'm a big fan of Comme des Garçons Un Plus. Like I buy a lot of CDG H plus too. So yeah, I caught that. People, someone saying Kiko. Okay, we can have a look at the Kiko show. Let's see what Kiko Kostadinov has been up to. Because that's another show I didn't like. All these shows, I'm going to get round to them, but I didn't actually look at the show. Hmm. Kiko Kostadinov. Did he have a show, by the way? Let me see 1 second. 'Cause I can't find it on YouTube. Might have to go over Runway. Oh, look at JPG. Jean-Paul Gaultier Couture. That's the new one, right? By Ludovic de Saint-Saëns. Yeah, I haven't looked at that collection yet. I will look at it, but I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, we know exactly who in the Discord wants Kiko. Yeah, fact. I can't find the Kiko video, unfortunately, so I can't do Kiko. So I'm going to do the next best option, which is Jean-Paul Gaultier by Ludovic de Saint-Saëns, which should be interesting. That should be interesting. Let's have a look, guys. And then after that, I'm gonna take my leave. But let's have a look at this. Okay, let's skip past this bit. Skip to the show. Skip. This is going to be very interesting. I can already tell. I find it interesting though that Jean-Paul Gaultier tapped Ludovic de Saint-Saëns for this, but it almost makes sense in the sense that Jean-Paul Gaultier, part of what Jean-Paul Gaultier did was these very sexy silhouettes, a lot of corsetry usage. That is what Ludovic de Saint-Sernin does. Obviously, not as successfully as Jean-Paul Gaultier, but that is aesthetically, I can see similarities there. But I just feel like Ludovic would make it so. Let me not say what I want to say. Like, I wanted to say crass. I feel like Ludovic de Saint-Sernin does sexy in a very crass way. It's never in a very like Jean-Paul Gaultier did it in a very endearing way. Like when women wear his corsetry, even though it is ultra sexy, it's fun, it's playful. When I look at Ludovic de Saint-Sernin's sexiness, it's not fun or playful. It's just straight crass. It's just so yeah, let me know the words in my head. Let me not say that. But let's see. Let's see if he's done something different with this Jean-Paul Gaultier collection because I don't imagine he would. Because I think his signature is just to make crass clothing. But let's see. Bring free speech to the UK, free IO. Yeah. I mean, I talk freely about fashion like in my reviews because I mean, there's no corporate overlord that's going to end me if I say I don't like a brand or whatever, or I don't like a designer's work. It's like, who cares? People don't like my videos. Who cares? It's like people have their opinions. Oh no. Oh, see, this is the kind of thing that I expect from Ludovic. Like, this is exactly what I expect from Ludovic. Exactly what I expect him to do. That is exactly what I expect Ludovic to do. There has to be some skin. There has to be some form of pants for the gay boys, you know. Shout out to the gays. But Ludovic always does that though. He always does that. Like every collection, he always does that. Just what he does. Yeah, exactly. I feel kind of people are saying horny. I think it's a good way to like sometimes when he does sexiness, it's just too horny. It's too like it's too rooted in it's not he doesn't know how to do sexiness in an endearing way like Azadine Alaya or like Jean-Paul Gaultier did in a very different way. Azadine Alaya was more like pure sexy. Jean-Paul Gaultier was more like playful meet sexy. But he doesn't know how to do it. He just doesn't. It's almost like he doesn't have the ability to do that. Every time he does sexy, it's just like I'm just like it's just so I don't know. It's probably good I didn't look at this collection earlier, but yeah. Luke, this is your fault. This is your fault, Luke. You're the reason why I'm looking at this collection right now. Because like being the thing is, making sexy clothing for women is not like a bad thing. I mean, there are women that want to dress that way. It's just if you're gonna do it properly, like Azadine Alaïa or like many other designers. Like, just what? Luke, this is your fault. I'm blaming you. Honestly, I honestly blame you. Interesting show, but the craftsmanship I mean, it's a couture show, so the craftsmanship will be there, to be honest. It goes without saying. However, just because something is handmade doesn't mean that creatively it's good. Like I can spend 50 hours hand like hand sewing a or hand knitting a piece. It doesn't necessarily mean creatively it's like good. It just means I spent a long time on it. Kiko ain't sound so bad now, does it? Uh, oh God. Someone said, imagine having to sit there in person. I mean, most people would just say it's a sensational collection and be like, oh my God, because they want to be invited to the show, right? I don't care about these things, so I'll just come out and say no. But I don't think people sitting, well, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people sitting there don't care. They're just happy to be at the show. They're not critics. They're not actually going to critique collections in any way. They're not going to do that. So I don't think they mind, to be honest. Okay, these looks aren't too bad. These looks that have just come round are probably some of the stronger looks in this collection. Those ones aren't too bad. Yeah, this isn't too bad either. But those earlier looks, the first half of the collection, wow. Oh my God, don't insult Tyler like that. I think Tyler actually has a really good walk, to be fair. So no, they don't walk like Tyler. Do you think this came from their imagination or AI? It's giving sci-fi fantasy book. I can see that, but once again, like I'm just having a first look. I actually have no idea about the inspiration of the collection, which I'll look into when I do a proper review of the show. Oh, we need to skip that. That's a bit too much boob for YouTube. I'm going to get demonetized. I know Ludovic loves that. Ludovic loves showing boob and stuff like that, but yeah, that doesn't work for YouTube. So we're going to skip that. Valentina Alessandro. That's another show. I guess let's go on that quickly, and then I can take my leave after. Um, but yeah, I caught part of the Valentina show, but I need to watch it back. By the way, these are all shows I'm going to review properly in the future, like the Jean-Paul Gaultier show by Ludovic de Saint-Sernin, the Valentino first couture show by Alessandro Michele. Um, but let's have a first look. But it was I turned it on and there were all these flashing lights and they were really hurting my eyes. So I was like, you know what, I'll come back to it later. So let's have a look. Valentino. I don't think Kiko will upload a video. Can you review it just off the runway? Don't worry. Kiko Costanov is actually on my list of reviews. So in the coming days, because I will be streaming more consistently now. The reason why I didn't stream for a week was because I was doing loads of work, because it was Fashion Week. But now that Fashion Week is coming to an end before it restarts again, um, I have some time to do some streams. So I'm going to catch up with all the shows. So Kiko is actually on my list. So I will do a dedicated review on Kiko's show, by the way. Um, I plan to. But let's have a look at Valentino's, and I will actually take my leave, by the way, because I don't like these streams being we're already 2 hours in. I don't like them being way too long. Let's have a look. Flashing. Light, 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 light. Da, 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 da. Okay, we don't really care about all these VIPs. Let's just get to the show. If you want to see fashion, I don't care who went to the show. I just care about Alessandro Michele's work. Um, okay. So I'm saying they love when I stream for crazy amounts of time. What does that even say? One second. Recalls disorder, multiplicity unfinished, 48 lists, evocative, universe visionary, infinite, uninterrupted, rapture, stratification, references, constellation, enumeration, word, symbolic, ghost, juxtaposition, suspension, archetypes, traces, encyclopedians, verge, order, journey, stores, and unrestrained. So are these supposed to be like all a word mash of ideas that came to mind when Alessandro was designing the collection, or are they random, or are they supposed to have like some sort of significance? Hmm. I want to say just what's Evangelion. That's crazy. That's insane. I need to look into the inspiration, but what is it with this like sci-fi Squid Games? Like, what is that about? It's different. I like that it's different because when I look at couture shows, they definitely don't, they aren't in this context and they're never really in this format. But what is this whole technological thing? What's that about? Hmm. I mean, that dress is the kind of thing that Alessandro Michele has designed at Gucci already. Of course, it's a couture show, so the craftsmanship will be there. Everything is handmade. We get it. But I can swear Alessandro Michele has already made that at Gucci. That's cool. That looks like it took a long time to make. Because if that's hand encrusted, geez, that's a lot of applications. That will be one of the things where you look at a press release and it'll be like 50,000 crystals were hand sewn into the garment over the course of like a month or something like that. Yeah, I think if anything, the way it's presented is distracting me from the clothing. It's really, really distracting me. So I'm trying to focus on the clothes, but it's a lot of things going on. I'm seeing Aristotle. Like I'm looking at the words scrolling by, and I'm seeing Aristotle and all these different things. Hmm. To be honest, that look just looks like armor. It looks like fashion, fashionable armor in a way, which is very like I get it. Roman, I get it. I get it. Mm, okay, these silhouettes are not very. Are we going back to the times of Marie Antoinette? Is that what the whole point is? I don't. Hmm. That's really cool. That top, the pleating looks really nice. I want to see it from a different angle. I can't really see exactly what that is. Oh, it's kind of like a cropped vest. That's cool though. I like that. I can't even see the wait. I can't even see exactly what. Wait. These people that film these things need to work on the way that they film it. I'm literally interested to see exactly what this look looks like, and I'm struggling. Because when I pause it here, it's kind of blurry. It's out of focus a bit. It's interesting. He keeps using the A-line silhouette. The Valentino references are definitely there, though. Yeah, the thing about A-lines is that, first of all, Christian Dior himself used to use a lot of A-line silhouettes, like a lot. And so because a lot of designers, when they design at Dior, they use the A-line silhouette because it's a very Christian Dior thing to do. Um, so I kind of have fatigue from seeing a lot of A-line. Mm, what is that? That looks really weird. Sorry. I just noticed on the collar, kind of like a silk fabric, but it looks odd. Wait, that looks so odd. Is that like that neckline looks really strange. I find that a strange choice of materials. I guess Alessandro Michele is experimenting, but it looks really odd. What's my favorite silhouette? Hmm. I mean, probably a multitude of Balenciaga silhouettes. I'm a huge Cristobal Balenciaga fan, like massive. Probably why I'm so critical of Demna, to be fair. But yeah, a lot of silhouettes from Demna. I can't really pick one to be not from Demna. Oh my gosh, I didn't mean that. From Cristobal Balenciaga. Um, brain fart. Hmm. Someone said clip it. Yeah, Freudian slip. Back. Mm, do you know what it is? I can't really have an opinion on this collection based on this runway because it's so hard for me to actually look at. This is one of the situations where Vogue Runway would actually be better for me to take in the garments than the video itself. Because the angles are weird. They barely have any full body angles, and when they do have a full body angle, it's kind of out of focus. So it doesn't work. Like you barely get any time to see the full look. Well, I don't actually know what music they are using because obviously YouTube copyright. Of course, when I actually do a proper review of the show, which will probably be maybe tomorrow or something, um, I will like obviously listen to the music and then get some more context in that sense. You know, it's the lighting that's making it bad. You can barely see half of the giraffes. Yeah, so I'm just struggling to really take in the collection because of the distractions of the sets and then also the filming. It's just a bit. Let's see, music is gothic, choral, ambient. Hmm. But why would it be like in the context of like this technical? That's confusing. It's very technical, Squid Games, flashing lights, moving screen. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I think I need to like take the collection in properly in my own time and find every image I can find on the internet and then come up with um my own thing then, my conclusion then. Um, but yeah, I think we'll end it there, guys. So thank you very much for tuning into the stream. I appreciate all of you. Before I go, guys, turn on your YouTube notification bell so you actually know when I stream. Because I realize I never actually tell people to do that or urge people to tap the notification bell. So please do that. Follow me on Twitch so you know when I stream. I have my stream schedule there, even though I don't follow it all the time, but one day I'm going to follow it. Um, join the community on Discord as always. Um, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next stream, hopefully not too long from now.